I'm David Prestage, I'm Assistant Director and Head of Sound.
I'm Lizzie Ashraf, I'm Script Supervisor and Producer. It was a questionnaire based on our animatic.
Well, an animatic is a digital version of a storyboard, and as a group we don't have any standout artists, so doing the traditional version, page by page on paper drawn out, would have taken a long time with not very good results really.
For an audience, an animatic is probably better to watch as well because it gives a better idea of what our film entails, simply because it's more interactive. With an animatic you can add music, which is a good way to express the tone of our film and emotions of characters.
Yeah, and also making the animatic allowed us to get a realistic idea of what shots we could use throughout the actual filming process when we got there.
Well, we conducted the research to get feedback on our choice of set, shots and characters. We really wanted people to sympathise with our main character and see the struggle that he was going through. And that was one of the main aims that we had.
Yeah, an animatic itself is a great idea for us as filmmakers to have an idea that our ideas themselves are achievable before we get too far into the process, to make sure we're right on track before beginning.
One of the questions we asked was for any possible titles people had for the film. One person suggested Licking the Wounds, and after we discussed it as a group, we decided we were going to use it.
Other questions we asked were such as, do you feel The Grave is effective, and what point do you think the montage is trying to create, and does it fit well within the film? And as filmmakers, these style of questions helps us see if the audience interprets a film as we do ourselves, and if not, how they see the film so we can develop ideas from their interpretations. For me, the most interesting feedback was in response to the question, did you enjoy watching a film that had a happy ending, or do you think a darker finale would be better? And we had such responses to that question, such as one person said that happy endings show a character's journey throughout a film, and we had a few people saying the phrase, I like happy endings. So I found this interesting because as a group we wanted to have a happy ending for the film, and so seeing our audience having such a positive reaction towards it makes it feel like we've done well, it's been worth it.
There were no real changes as such, but we were struggling to decide whether to have the flashback in black and white or in full colour. For the animatic, we tried the shots in black and white, and they received good reviews and people liked it, so we kept the idea for the actual film. We made no major changes as the feedback we got on a whole was really positive.
I'm Jenny Beresford and I'm a director and assistant sound operator.
And I'm Joanna Stanley, the camera operator and producer. We conducted this research to investigate the pros and cons of our film, also to find out whether things were needed changing and which are our strongest elements or parts of the film. The questions that asked were designed to cover different aspects of the film. We asked questions about props, actors, and also, general questions like what was your favourite part. We were really happy with the feedback actually, because it was quite positive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was all positive feedback.
And got some really helpful suggestions as well, so it's good.
Yeah, it did, because at the start we were quite worried about the props because we used them a lot to sort of hint to the storyline, so we were hoping that it would work and it would be a good effect to use. And when we got the feedback from, for example, it said the dog in the frame tied the storyline together, we were really happy because that was quite a key moment. So we thought when that was sort of successfully put across, it was well achieved. We were quite happy with that feedback. Also, someone's feedback said that they probably wouldn't change anything and everything seemed quite relevant. So again, it was another really positive feedback that we had.
Well, because we used quite challenging camera techniques, that we took the ideas from professional feature films, we were quite worried about that, if they were going to work or if they were, going to just get pushed aside, they didn't look right. But the feedback we got for such things like the montage, when the main character is moving across the living room throughout a period of time, to show time dragging on, it was really good actually. Someone said it was their favourite part of the film. So it was great to see our ideas come to life and people notice it and like it. And this was just like the technique of the pull focus used in the bedroom, which we didn't focus on his face.
So we
when
sort
he
of
was,
pulled it as it was going, so it kind
Yeah.
of made it give the effect that he was crying. So, well, he was crying, but it kind of enforced it. So when the audience was viewing it as well.
emphasised the noise of him crying. So, we had added emotion, a bit more emotion into it. But the feedback we got for all the techniques were actually really, really good.
Some of the feedback did, not all of it, because we did feel that the feedback was quite positive, so it was quite hard to work from, really. But we did, in our last question, the question was, what would you rate our film out of 10? And we had this at the end of the feedback, so it kind of gave the feedback to a close. And in my opinion, I felt it was sort of the best bit. And one of the feedbacks we were given was a 7.5 out of 10. And the speaker said that it had quite a slow start and it was a bit dull. We decided that we were kind of contemplating whether to edit it out or keep it in, because if we had feedback saying it wasn't that good, we felt our aim at the beginning was to keep that sort of audience not knowing what was happening and maybe thinking, well, where's these characters been, and not introducing the background story so much. We thought that it was quite sort of convention used in short film, so we did want to keep it. So in the end, we decided not to go with that feedback and keep it in our film, but we think that worked well, didn't we?
Yeah, we thought the slow start sort of emphasised the sad tone, the mysterious tone of the scene.
Yeah, and the characters sort of
and what was going
being
on,
alone
really.
and not knowing what was happening. We thought it kind of emphasised well.
Yeah, so all in all, we were really happy with the feedback, aren't we? And found the questionnaire really useful.